explain something else, like if we had been fighting the day before, not now, later we'll get to it. At the quiet of the day.
If you were going to explain something, okay, during these little snippets, during this big, like, intense scene, I would think that you would start with the big scary thing that you, like, helped escape and then led to your hometown. Like, I think I would start by being like, I'm not sure how dangerous this is gonna be, but I was like, hey, Queen of the Mariswith, why don't you go start a new colony in our hometown, and you might be a little pissed about it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I feel like that's a better place to start than being like, I took over the Midlands, and obviously you're gonna forgive me for that, because that's for the good of the people. This was not for the good of the, start there.
I accidentally released a wyvern on innocent people in Aidendrill. So it's not great, but I guess we're gonna have to deal with that later.
Yeah, I was kind of under some spell, and I, totally fell for it, and let it out, so, okay, anyways. They find the fucking book, of course, all the way in the back of the vault. It's on the top shelf. Nothing's ever easy. Yeah, never. It's on the top shelf above the smoke. So they tip the shelf over, the book lands on a table, of fucking course, it can't be easy. Of course, I think that if it had fallen onto the ground, it would have maybe been harder. Because, a bookshelf on the ground with a whole bunch of other books around it, if you're trying to stay crawling, it would be hard to navigate.
Oh, yeah.
That. I feel like that they're neglecting how terrible it would be to find a book underneath a fallen bookshelf, I think, while crawling. But anyways.
My only thought was, you don't know exactly what's going to happen to the book when it comes off the shelf. Like, what if going through the smoky laser, the book, disintegrates or bursts into flame? The one you wanted is now destroyed. Obviously, that doesn't happen, but, what if? You don't know.
You don't fucking know. But, so, the table is, inches below the smoke. So he slides his hand all slick-like underneath it and grabs it. It's all fine. And they start to book it on their knees back out of there. Because they try to act like, oh, we're going super fast. They keep trying to emphasize that they're trying to escape this room quickly. And I'm like, there's no fucking way you are, though. Because they keep getting lower and lower from on their knees down lower. And I'm like, there's not that much lower to go. And you cannot go quickly any lower than your knees. Your knees, you're not even going that quick.
No, once you lose your knees and you're doing the army crawl where you're using your elbows to pull, that gets painstakingly slow.
Yeah, and even adults on your knees. I'm sorry. Have you ever tried to chase a child who's crawling versus you crawling? They're faster than you by far. Our bodies are not made for that.
Well, their knees are still good, that's why. Their knees and their backs are fine.
Yeah. Let's play a game. When Richard grabs the book, something grabs Kahlan's leg. When Richard reaches back to help Kahlan, the thing lets go. But then the glowing smoke starts to descend, pressing them towards the floor. They crawl quickly towards the door, but again, the smoke is under the plate to the door, keeping Richard from slapping it and letting him out. What do?
Apparently watch all the Saw movies in order to see if this was ever done, because that's exactly what I thought of. It was like, okay, when you do this move, this other thing complicates your escape. When you do this thing, weird... By the way, what is it that grabbed Kahlan? What is it just magic preventing her, or is it an actual thing in the room with them they didn't see? Because it never says.
I don't know. I feel like that was a very weird thing that Terry put it, there was no place for it. Why? Why did something grab her and then immediately let go, and then we never see it again, and the palace is destroyed? Sorry, spoiler.
It just never says. Plus, Richard would have known something was in the room with them, unless it was just a preventative measure, a shield of some kind. I don't know what. Trying
to stop you from... I don't know. It's just... It's fucking weird. It was a weird thing that didn't really amount to much.
It just served to up the ante, you know?
Heart racing faster.
It's like when you play... I don't know if maybe this is really weird, but we used to play house when we were kids, because kids do, and then for whatever reason, somebody was being over dramatic, let's say you came home and I was shot.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're dying for no reason at all. And it just kind of felt like that. It makes it dramatic and intense, but what the fuck was it?
Yeah. No. Nothing.
Just nothing.
Yeah. So Richard thinks that maybe he could put the Merizwith cape on and the laser will not touch him. But Kahlan's like, no, let's not do that. And I'm glad, because that seems like the most asinine shit I've ever fucking heard. Like, I get that people can't see you with the Merizwith cape on, but that does not stop you from being like a actual physical being. We know that because you guys have killed Merizwith with their capes on by cutting them.
Well, yeah. Well, oh, shit. And here's another thing. There's literally a dozen bodies in this room with their capes cut.
Not
going to save you.
Yeah, they're not Merizwith capes, but
yeah. I hear cape and I'm like, oh,
cape.
They're all magical in some way.
They are, though. They are.
Speaking of magical, you know what is magical?
What's that?
A beer.
Yay! It's time for the beer break.
Wow, I don't feel like you're as excited as I am. That's a real shame, because even with that laugh, I am excited about this one. Today, we've got Brambles. It's a blackberry lactose IPA. Let's just take that in a second. It's fruity, but it's milky, but it's also an IPA.
Okay.
Like 3 different... I have no idea how this is going to taste. It's an India Pale Ale, obviously, brewed with blackberries and lactose. Contains milk sugars. Keep cold. Drink fresh. Oh, I will. This beer clocks in at 7.2%, and it's from Brewery Vivant.
That's the second fruity thing from Brewery Vivant we've had.
Yeah.
That I didn't realize was from them. And the last time that we had gone there, they didn't have a whole lot of fruit.
Normally, it's all farmhouse ales.
Yeah.
And this is definitely not that, nor was the last one. So
maybe we need to go there.
Oh, wow, that's kind of complicated. To your question, yes, absolutely. As long as they have beignets,
yeah,
I'm there. That is,
They also had, like, bone marrow.
Okay, so I definitely get the
fancy.
IPA. Wait, what did you just say?
They serve marrow, I'm pretty sure. Like, from...
Why? I
guess eat it.
I need to do some research before I comment on that. I don't know. I've never eaten it either, but it's on there. All right. Well, maybe that's a Patreon. But yeah, no, you can definitely taste the IPA in this one for sure. It does have a little after bitterness. The blackberry is there, but the lactose, I don't know. I knew it was going to be blackberry because brambleberries are the ones that grow on vines. Like, with prickers on them. I guess maybe it does have a smoother finish. Maybe that's what the lactose is doing. Just makes it a bit creamier. Mm-hmm. That was for the hops. That's what that noise was. That was for the hops. I will say 4 in IPA. It's okay. I don't hate it. I will drink it. But it is one of those. Wow. Thank you for that in-depth look. I will say, I approve of Brewery Vivant doing more fruits. And definitely, I would drink this probably over some of the other beers they had, just because I would take fruit over farmhouse, probably. I really shouldn't give you shit about that. I know that you're not a fan of IPAs, but I think we've had a couple that are less than terrible, and I'm glad that we're making even that headway. I knew that going in with this beer, because I saw everything else, and I was like, fantastic, but it was an IPA. And with the 3 mixtures of the fruit, the lactose, and the IPA, I didn't know. I just didn't know. I'm just saying, out of all the different styles of beer that are out there, I dislike one, for sure. That's fair. That's totally fair. I think it is fair. And I will even drink it, because I'm not a brat. I will drink whatever kinds, even if I don't like it, and I will be fine. But I'm allowed to just be like, nah. Meh. Yeah. And you know what? You have done your research, because on this show alone, I think we are rounding the corner of 180 episodes. And on our Harry Potter podcast, we're at least above 40. So that puts us on roughly 220 different beers that you've tried. Yeah, and that's not talking all the beers I drink on the weekend. No, not at all. That sounds terrible. Oh my God. I'm talking like in general. It sounds so bad. Whatever. But we are definitely going to have a little bit more of this. I am. And we will be back right after this. And we're back. And I'm on the floor because we're still getting low. Oh, yeah. Stab, stab. All right, I'm sorry. I will get back up on the couch, I suppose. If I have to.
Yeah, well, they have to be able to hear you because this is an audio
yeah, I suppose.
thing.
I do need to speak directly into the microphone. Well, we're at least going to listen to that on the way to the store later. For sure. And loud. We're going to be obnoxious, and I feel like that's okay. I feel like I'm also being obnoxious now, so I will continue with the story. So, we know that when we left Richard and Kahlan, he's considering putting the Mriswith cape through the smoky laser, but Kahlan won't let him risk it, right?
'Cause duh.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I got the nickname Nine Fingers Nate.
Well, no.
No, nobody calls me that. But Kahlan wants to protect Richard, so she extends her hand towards the door, wait for it, and she shoots blue fucking lightning. Yeah! The Kandar trick worked just like Richard supposed it would, meaning he knows at least twice as much about Kahlan's power than she does, which is a little weird.
It's super nice that we can count on this to just come through for us whenever we need.
But I get it. It is in protection of Richard. Like, I feel like you could make some mental leaps. Like, well, as long as I'm doing something that somehow benefits Richard, I feel like maybe it's more immediate. And watching his dumb ass try and use the cape to stick his hand through a laser did just that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're right. It just feels like something, like if you were doing something dumb and my like internal instinct magic was just like, stop him, and I don't know, that just seemed
it would pop off, right?
I guess it just, the last time it seemed like it made more sense. His life was like, she was in revenge for him, you know? It was like revenge magic. This is like, protect your boyfriend from doing a dumbass thing.
Magic. That's what they call it in the book. I don't know, man. But when she does this, the smoke recoils. The laser, right, doesn't like the lightning. So next time you're in a lightning storm, hey, tip from the podcast: as long as you have your laser pointer in your pocket, you should be fine.
No, it's the other way around. If you have like a laser storm and you have lightning in your
that's
pocket,
right. The laser would be useless. Never mind,
fine.
lightning in your pocket. That's got to be a song, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the smoke recoils, or the laser recoils, and that lets Richard slap the plate, opening the door, and letting them out of the vault.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that on the Patreon, because, like,
yeah.
I have questions, but that's fine. We'll keep going.
Once outside the vault, they hit an invisible barrier like a super sad mime. And to make matters worse, the creepy smoke is now following them. It's coming out of the room.
Of fucking course it is.
Now, what I'm picturing is like it didn't re-up and start at the ceiling and work its way down slowly like it was. It's just what I picture maybe knee-high at this point.
Yeah, because it's sinking. It keeps getting lower and lower and lower.
Yeah, so it's knee-high and it's coming out of this room, but it's like there's a couple trains of thought. It obviously can't be a laser, because if it was a laser, I feel like their legs would instantly have been chopped off. So it has to be more of like a smoky haze type thing that's slowly zombie speed following them.
Well,
like a brisk walk might outrun it.
Well, I think it's kind of like, I don't know. Your laser thing made a lot of sense to me, because now it recoiled when Kahlan did the lightning. It recoiled. It like pulled itself backwards and up, so like, you know, yeah, like way, like an art, like a spaghetti thing. Woo! It came backwards. So they had a chance to like get out in front of it. So I think it's still down low, and it would still chop them off at the ankles. Which honestly, it probably wouldn't kill you now.
Well, no, it might, because if it chopped off your legs, then you would fall into it, and it would chop you as you fell.
Would it? Or is it?
I kind of feel like it would.
Because I guess it was hot all the way across their bodies while they were crawling underneath it.
It won't touch books.
It's not just one thin line. It's horizontally all the way across. So,
right. Well, yeah, it's a thin line going all the way across, and it's like a laser. So if it gets you by your feet, and then you're like, oh shit, and you fall through it,
fall backwards.